should aspire for more. Connect with others who desire to aspire for more. Reach for your goals. When you do, you allow yourself to aspire for more. Dr. Tammy is here to help you aspire for more.
Hello. Thank you for joining us on Journey Toward More. I am your host, Dr. Tammy Donaldson and Success Catalyst. Today we have a special guest. We have Miss T. Barnes with us, and we're going to be talking about how does she journey toward more? What does she do to keep going? She is an amazing woman, and I can't wait for you to hear from her. So on this show every week, I hope you would join me and watch some of the previous podcasts. We discuss and I bring guests to you to share how they are operating in their life and business, and then share how they are moving in the direction of more and preparing for what's next. And so today we have Miss T. Barnes. Miss T. Barnes is the CEO of T. Barnes Beauty, LLC, and the Executive Director of T. Barnes Global Summer Camp. Travel is the heartbeat of the T. Barnes brand. T. Barnes began her career in beauty, fashion, and entertainment as a college student at New York University. And then in 2003, T. Barnes began to move from behind the scenes to in front as a licensed esthetician and makeup artist herself. With the purchase of her first salon and spa, Solace, which is beautiful, if I may add myself. I love it. Very homey. I love it. Love it. It's great. She began producing a brand of organic beauty products under her name, T. Barnes. And so she's T. Barnes. Now, I will say that I know her more than T. Barnes, and I've known her a long time, but you may have to connect with us in order to find out what that connection is and follow us on social media. T. Barnes Beauty is the parent brand to three businesses: T. Barnes Skincare and Cosmetics, T. Barnes Global Travel, and Solace Boutiques. Her brand consists of skincare, cosmetics, and bath and body. She is amazing. And I like to say that she has an empire. Now, she may dispute that, so we're going to talk about that and what she does and who she is, and in a line, like what are her core values and how does she implement that into her business? We're going to talk about all of that. And so I will say, for those of you that are entrepreneurs or those of you that are embarking on a large project or a big journey, that I promise you whatever she shares with us today is going to help you, because she has an amazing experience, and we're only going to touch the tip of the iceberg. In order for us to really pick her brain and really know what she's thinking, we're going to have to be here probably 8 hours. But we only have about 30 to 45 minutes, so we're going to try to get it down to that. So I just want to use this opportunity to introduce you to her. So, welcome, T. Barnes.
Thank you, Tammy Francis. Donald Tammy.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. So, I want to just talk about how you got started. Let's start there. Like, how did you even think about, like, I want to be an entrepreneur? Because I know this is something that you've done a long time. I'm trying not to say too much because I want you to say it. But I know you've done it a long time. So how did you even think and start, like, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur. This is something I want to do.
I started my business at 17. So I don't think that I thought I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I've always wanted to be free.
Ooh.
And so seeking freedom for me meant that I needed to create opportunities for myself. And that's really how it started.
So it started with creating opportunity, this idea of freedom, which I think that is like at the crux of entrepreneurship. But what made you continue? What was that drive that just kept you going? What was that thing that said, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it full blown? Because I know there's many entrepreneurs that start and have this idea and they don't necessarily follow through, or they do it 3 to 5 years and stop. You've been doing it a long time. You said it's in high school. I'm not going to say how long that is, but I know it's been a long time. So what was that thing that kept you going? How did you decide? What was that thing that got you to continue?
You know, Dr. Tammy, I honestly don't know any other life. I've never done anything else but create my own opportunities. So I went to NYU and started the business in my dorm room in 1994. Giving away my age.
Now you know how long she's been in business.
And I was talented. I was able to produce projects. I was able to start making money. And I interned. I was doing a lot of interning and learning and working. And I think maybe my very first job was with Carol Joy Creations, which it was the very first African-American greeting card company. Wow. It's actually the reason why we have Hallmark now has an African-American greeting card section, you know? And so I was 14, 15 years old, working for them for, I think, 2 or 3 years. And I mean, they kind of let me be really creative. I bossed them around. I made them start recycling programs. You know, they still talk about that to this day. And it's amazing that, you know, they were family friends. And so I saw a family, a Black family, working together to build a business that was successful. They were able to have a home and put their kids through college. And I think it maybe planted a seed really early because I saw it work. Right. And then when I got into college, I was interning for Def Jam. And it's so interesting because, you know, I'm from Texas. I come from the suburbs. I moved around a lot. And I wasn't necessarily a hip hop head. You know, that wasn't really I loved hip hop like anybody else in high school. Right. But being in hip hop was so powerful. You know, at that time, I was working in an office with Russell Simmons, and we had an account with Method Man and Redman and Onyx, and you know, so this was my social circle of people that I was working with, and I was, you know, young and on tour with people, but what I saw was like this really strong, independent spirit. I saw Black men walking into meetings with jeans and a white T-shirt on, and demanding respect and being able to get to make millions and millions of dollars. And I think that impact, like I think just at every turn, I was putting myself in positions where I saw people working independently and creating for themselves. And so I think that was really influential. And so I don't think I ever considered anything else. Right. Yeah, I mean, I didn't. And then I moved to Italy after graduation. And even there, I worked for a fashion designer. She was young. She owned a business in the middle of Florence, Ghissu. And again, another entrepreneur, and I came in and was able, I also was in situations where whatever I was really good at, I was able to take to the full extent. I was never stunted. Right. You know? So, yeah, I think that was just kind of, I don't know anything else.
And so I know that you are well traveled. So I want to talk about, because I know part of the things that I mentioned earlier was that travel is the heartbeat of your brand. So let's talk about the travel aspect and how that came to be a part of your brand and the heartbeat of it, because I know that that's not where it started.
No, not the travel part, but I think. So my very first travel experience, I was 16, and I was studying Russian, and it was right after the Cold War, again, giving away my age, and I got into this program with Russia and the United States, and I went to go live there and study for a short period of time in high school as my senior year. And I remember my mom like, "You don't have to go."
Yeah, I've been in high school going to Russia.
It opened up this whole new world, and like the boundaries. I think it just broke boundaries. Mm-hmm. I didn't have these made up boundaries. Right. And so travel. So no, travel hasn't always been a part of my brand in terms of it's something that I, market and sell and people participate in. But I think because travel created this space inside of me where I was able to feel like I had no boundaries. I think that it always kind of was like that thrust. And then I was always traveling. So, I was living in Italy, and even in Italy, like I got in, I learned the language, I was producing events and I was working for a designer. And then I was like, I know how to expand this. I started bringing her designs to the U.S. and selling them. Like, I mean, people like to say, they're a hustler. They're this. I don't know that I'm a hustler. I just think that I saw opportunities as they came, and I was able, because I didn't have the boundaries, to just act on them. And no one stopped me.
Right.
They encouraged it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So all that is back to that idea of freedom. So I think that's really cool how it transformed and grew, from that idea in high school or when you were in college, and then moved to this space of traveling and working beyond the boundaries without having the boundaries. So travel was kind of the thing that really set you free in
Yes.
the sense. So how do you incorporate it today into your brand? How is that heart beating today?
Well, I always say T Barnes Beauty is a lifestyle company, and I knew from the beginning. Even when I went, when I went to aesthetic school, I had a bachelor's degree from NYU, so I knew that I wasn't going to just be working with my hands. So I was strategic in putting together a plan of action that I knew I was working with lines that I really liked. I knew I want an organic line of my own. And I want things that are very specific towards African American or Black people that would benefit their skin. And so I had started with travel. I want to make sure that I'm answering your question.
No,
I'm not answering.
Yes, you are. You're good. No, you're good. No, you're fine.
So I think I say all that to say that I knew that there was a trajectory of how I wanted to organize it. And your question was to me, I just want to make sure, today, how does travel? So today, travel it's been incorporated into my brand because I knew my brand was going to be global.
Okay.
So I knew that I was going to initially, from the gate, start in the United States and then push out, as opportunities came. And that's what happened. Caribbean was kind of like my first breakout with the skincare line into the market, and people loved it. I did like one event in St. Thomas, and it's turned into, really, I'm now selling on 7 Caribbean islands, and it's turned into this whole other thing. So I think travel is the heartbeat, because I knew from the beginning that it was going to be global, and I knew that it was going to be global because I was.
Right.
And then now, of course, I have a whole travel business that kind of fell in my lap, which...
So tell us a little bit about that. Just tell us a little bit about that.
I'm an esthetician. I work with women, and I have really beautiful clientele. They're interested in the things that I have my clientele is a reflection, I think, of the kind of person I am. So they're intelligent, they're well, they're thoughtful, and some of them wanted to travel more, and they saw my life and they were like, I want to travel. And I was like, okay, well, let's plan a trip. And so I think I planned like the first trip to maybe Jamaica, but I planned it to the hills of Jamaica with like the Rastafarians and on this organic farm. And it was like, it was successful. Like, people like that. And so every January, I just started planning trips. So I think I'm on my maybe 5th or 6th trip now, probably 6th trip. And it's fascinating because I think that I started it so that I could give my clients expansion. When someone is on your aesthetics table, they're very vulnerable. So, there are people that never show the world themselves without makeup. It's a very intimate situation. And I hear their dreams, and I hear the things that they want to do, and travel for me opens up the world to me.
Right.
So I wanted to be able to give my clients those opportunities to be expansive, and it's now just, we started with 12 people that first trip, and this is 5 maybe 4 or 5 years later, I just took 45 people to Bali.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. So do you only work with women?
No.
Do only women travel with you?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
and no. And I think that because I'm a woman's woman, I am a woman's woman. And I think that my brand caters to women in a very specific way. But I had never said, no, men can't come.
Right.
You know, like it was just something that I think naturally happened. And then last year, or this year actually, January, was the first time I had men. So it was like one of my best friends, Eternal, and a woman and her husband. They were the only two? Yeah, they were the only two men.
Yeah, but it's men.
But it was men. But it was wonderful because one thing about my brand, I'm a beauty brand, and that typically is like the cool girls club. Mm-hmm. I'm not really the cool girl. You know, like that's not.
Are you sure about that?
I know I'm not. You know, like you're not gonna see my trip. Like everybody's not gonna have on the same color brown bikini. You know, like, I love it. I love when I see those pictures. I'm like, yes. That's not really me. Right. You know, like my trips really are multi-generational. Mm-hmm. So this last trip, I mean, it was just so wonderful. Bali in general is an amazing country, right. But I had the old, like 75 or 70. She might kill me if I say 75 and she's not 75. I think 71.
So we'll play it safe.
To 18. Right. So there was this, so I have this, a different pulse. Okay. And my beauty brand has a different pulse. Right. You know, my beauty brand really, it isn't about creating a face. It isn't about, it's how do we get the foundation, which is the core of which is your skin, right, healthy and beautiful. Yeah. And that to me is a translation to life in general. Like how do we get ourselves, the foundations of who we are as women, as Black people, as, you know, I'm very political. So like politics runs very, very deeply throughout all of the things that I do. My very first beauty ad was "Beauty is Beauty." You know,
I love that ad. By the way,
you did.
I love it.
You know, beauty is political. It's the surest. What you think is beautiful is the surest sign to what you believe about the world. And if you don't believe yourself to be beautiful in its natural state, you know, there's a lot of these things. So I kind of merge all of these political ideas that I have. And this intellectual stretch that I want people to have with what I offer. I want people to have healthy skin, so I give them organic products and healthy bodies, and then I want them to have a full lifestyle of beauty and be expansive and to see the world, because every part of this experience is beautiful.
Right. So I'm glad you said that. I think she's in my head. So I wanted to have you expand on that just a little bit. And what are those core values? And I say values, but it could be what are those things that you incorporate into your business that are at the core of who you are?
Let's see. I think that there's some real fundamental things. I'm a Black woman and a mother, and those things mean a lot to me. Race, class, gender, those ideas are things that I've studied and things that I think we need to be very, very thoughtful about as we push forward. So I think a part of it is understanding that guides a lot of what I do, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And it isn't for a lot of people, right? So,
right. I was going to say, may not be for everybody, but it is, because that's you.
For me.
Yes.
So you make different choices, though, when you have, when your brand is politically driven. And so my goal is always freedom. So I'm not going to put myself in positions where my voice is limited because of this business. Mm-hmm. I'm in this business to be free, to have a voice. Yeah. So, and it affects you. It's real. Like, you know, I am a Black woman in the world, and I have to go into the market, and I might say stuff that makes people angry, you know, and when they get angry, then they want to stop your money. So I figure out ways to where people that can stop my money don't control my money. You know, one of my core audiences is Black women, and every Black woman may not like what I have to say, but I have enough support. I mean, amazing support of Black women. some that share my values politically and some that don't, but that respect what it is I do enough to where they make me my money.
Right.
So at the end of the day, you can keep yours.
Right,
you know?
right.
And what that does is it frees me up. And so the things that, I have women that are like, oh, every time I read your thing because I just wish I could say that at work. I can say that at work.
Yeah. It is for work.
Yeah.
That's a part of your...
And I think that is something that really attracts a lot of my customers. Like, so freedom, understanding that who I am as a Black woman, as a mother in this world, has a very particular place, and my voice in that politically and intellectually is a vehicle. So this business is a vehicle for me to be able to be free to talk about the things I think they're important for us to move forward. So being authentic is another one. I just want to be myself. I'm not the cool girl. I am thoughtful and maybe a little too deep for people. And, it seems so strange that I can talk to you about lipstick in 1 second and then, existential something else and another, but that is honestly who I am.
Right.
And my clients appreciate it.
Yeah.
They want a deeper conversation. And I access what I think is a larger part of the market, which are real women. Most women aren't looking to put on a full face of MAC makeup and look, completely done. Now, I love it. If I'm going out or I love to get my face beat, I'm all about that life. But I'm more interested in women being the best versions of themselves. Yeah. And using makeup and having great skin and having these, great clothes and all of the stuff that I produce and manufacture and put out into the market, but having that so that they feel good being them, not being like some manufactured specific thing. Because it is the quirkiness and diversity of all of our personalities and lives that make us really special. So what I hope is that my brand is a beauty brand that offers people the space to be thoughtful about the world and also to just be themselves and be authentic. So I think those are like my core values.
I love it. And I heard a few of the challenges in there too. So that's good that you're facing. So because of what you have how you've designed your business and your brand and set that up, I know that just by what you just said, that you face, you come up against people who may not agree with what you're doing, who may object and or just say, I'm not going to support because of whatever you believe politically or personally. So how do you find inspiration? How do you tap into your creativity? How do you stay in that positive space and not let those things infiltrate who you are and what you're trying to do?
Well, honestly, I've found that most of the time that people have something to say, it's really just not that true. So, I remember there was money on the table, $150,000 to be exact. And it was going to allow me to get to the next space. And the person that was going to be giving me this money was like, but I want you to not speak on Facebook about the way that you do. I want you to stop writing the things that you write. And I said, well, then you can keep your $150,000 because that's probably not going to happen.
Wow.
But so that's a challenge, right? And those are realities that if you have a voice, and it's always very interesting because the people that have really terrible things to say, they get funded all the time, right? It's when you have a social justice mind that somehow those kinds of ideas that are progressive and thoughtful and mean people good could hinder you from moving forward. But and I continue to be myself. Right. The person gave me the money though, by the way, but I continue to be myself. And as I continued to be more and more authentically myself, the bigger my business grew. Wow. The more my clientele grew. Not everybody's not my client. Right. And I'm all right with that.
Yes.
That's way okay.
Right.
Because the people that come into this T-Barnes world, I call it T-Barnes Landia.
I love that. I'm going to put that in the show notes, by the way.
they get it, and they are interested in being a part of it. And we create this really beautiful community, because you don't build a business and you don't build a community and you don't build these things by yourself. You know, you need people to do that with you.
Right.
And so everything that they say, you know, and all the challenges, and but I'm also a person that's really self-contained. I don't need other people to tell me it's okay. And I don't need other people to motivate me. I don't need that. I've never really needed that. I'm really like, a lot of stuff is like in my head, and I just push forward. But also, I don't have another choice. There's no plan B for me. Okay. So this is my life, and I don't know any other way to live. And actually, I worked for one company for a year and a half. I did. You remember?
Yes.
I did. I worked for a corporation for a year and a half. And it was actually at a time where my salon was really successful. And I was really making very, very good money. And I had enough to pay a manager to manage it. And I was bored. And I was like, oh, I can make another $50,000 a year doing that. Okay, I'll do it. And I was there just as a temp. And they thought they wanted me because they liked that whole, like, independent thinking and, you know, like, and I was like, are you sure? Because I'm not going to get in here at 9 o'clock in the morning every day. We have flex time, this and that or whatever. I'm like, I could do flex time, you know, because this was after maybe months, 4 or 5 months of working with them. Yeah, until you're really free. And I remember the first time I kind of had a conflict when they were like, they had told me, oh, well, you know, you have this amount of travel time. I was like, 2 weeks vacation. And I was like, well, can I leave and not get paid? They were like, oh, you can leave and not get paid. I said, okay. And I remember the first time I was like, I'm going to go to Italy. And they're like, oh, but you've used up your vacation time. I said, no, I don't need to get paid. It's okay. I can go. And I left. And they were like,
freedom again. There's that idea of freedom.
And they don't really like that. They don't really want that.
Yeah, they're like, okay, well, that's
not really what we meant. That's not really what we meant. So I realized that's probably not going to work for me.
Well, it lasted a year and a half, so that says a little bit.
It did. Actually, we had some conflict, and it ended in a nice little settlement, and me being able to use that money for my skincare line.
Awesome. Well, there you have it. We'll leave it at that.
That's my corporate work experience.
We're gonna leave it right there. I love it. So, okay, so I have a signature question that I ask on the show of every guest. And so I'm going to ask it of you. When you're moving in the direction of more and you're preparing for what's next, whatever it's goals, whatever it is that you're working on, the next project, what piece of advice would you share with the listeners that gets you moving in that direction of more, that keeps you setting goals and creating new product or services?
For me, again, you have to reach a point of taksu. Taksu is this term that comes out of Bali, and it means like the height of creativity. It's what an artist, it's like the goal of an artist, and everybody can't reach it, right? It's like the highest form of art. And taksu is something very specific to you. No one can produce it or duplicate it, and no one can take it from you, right? And I just think that I tap in to taksu. I tap into that space inside of me because there's this vision that's always been there. I remember probably talking to you when I was 12 years old, like, I'm going to be on Arsenio Hall.
I remember that. I remember that.
But it's something in you.
Yes.
And I don't know if everybody has it. I'd like to think that everybody has it. I don't know that everybody reaches taksu, but I do believe that everybody has that space. And when you get into that space of creativity, you really have to tune everybody the heck out. Mm-hmm. I just don't listen to anybody else. I just don't care what they have to say or what they think. And because I already know. It's because it's in you. Like, it's a seed that's in you. It's a passion. It's something that's in you. You were born with it. So you don't really need anybody else's advice. But I understand that, like, people need that. If you've been, I've always been free, right? So if you haven't and you're relearning to be free, right, you may need those voices, right, that are pushing you along, that are saying, keep going. You know, I write a lot. I tell a lot of my people, like, just keep going, you know. But for me specifically, I zone in and I figure out what it is. And I'm okay with constant reevaluating. Yeah. And I never feel like anything has failed. I just am constantly readjusting the way that something looks, and I'm really comfortable with that. And so for me, I think that if you can get to this place where you zone in on that seed that's in you already, and you use whatever tools, whether it's like me that just goes deep into myself, or if it's like, you know, other people that may need the encouragement, like what you do, that's brilliant, and you pull people together and you teach them the way and you push them along. Whatever it is that you need, you figure out your tools, and then you just put your head down and you do the work, though.
Yeah.
Do the work.
Yes, you got to do the work.
You know, and everybody doesn't want to do the work. So doing the work, you know, to me, people come to me all the time, but they don't want to do the work. So, like, I don't know what to tell you if you don't want to do the work. Because if you want freedom, freedom's not free. Mm-hmm. It costs me sleep. It costs me time with my family. It costs me, you know, relationships. It costs me, there's a lot of sacrifices that I've made. I mean, stability. There's not a lot of stability in entrepreneurship, you know. That I don't have peace of mind that my bills are all going to be paid. Right. You know, I'm okay with that because the freedom is the most important thing. So I think figuring out what that thing is, for me, is freedom. Whatever that thing is, mm-hmm. then you got to concentrate on that and push on.
I just love it. I love it. I don't have anything else to say. I'm speechless. Perfect. Yes. So listen to her. And we learned a new word, taksu. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Okay, did I say it right? Because I may not have. Yeah, so I'll work on it. But I like that. I'm going to have to start using it. I may have to do a broadcast on that. All right. We may have to go into that a little more. So tell us about some of your future plans. What are you working on now? What are your current projects or future projects that you're going to be working on? What do you have? Give us a little tease.
It's interesting. This year, I thought it was going to be like this big boom, push out and do all these things year, but it actually has turned into a very interesting transitional year. So right now I am reorganizing and creating more freedom by working with a fulfillment company, and opening that fulfillment company opportunity up to other small businesses like myself that have products that are doing shipping. Shipping is a big part of the problem.
Right.
Time and efficiency and getting those things out on time. Oftentimes small businesses can't compete with other businesses because they don't have the manpower to really get it out. So I'm going to be doing fulfillment, which means that now I can create, I send it to the fulfillment house, and it just goes out as the orders come in. So I can be anywhere in the world, you know, and I don't have to worry the way that I, you know, have been like, oh, who's going to be my shipping and this and that. And then offering that to other people from a consulting basis, and getting them fulfillment as well. And then the other part of it is figuring out how to better use technology. So I am, you know, transitioning things online, making sure I have more online booking, and getting myself to a place to where I have just a lot more of my time.
Yeah, automation.
Yeah, automation is a really good thing. And so, I mean, that's really what's on the plate now. I just produced, which I was not supposed to. I was supposed to be sitting in my hands this year. That was the goal. But I can't help it. You know, I was in Vietnam and Thailand last week. Actually, I was gonna say last month, but it was last week.
Yeah.
And I produced a beautiful line, and I this is my third offering for spring summer. So my spring summer 2018 line is called Stealing Peace.
Ooh, I love it.
It's at www.tbarnesglobaltravel.com, and it's beautiful. And so that's coming out, and the skincare is still amazing. I'm actually redoing the Bath and Body line, and so I have a signature T Barnes scent, and so Mango Mama and Lemon Fresh will forever be retired. I know people.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my
people miss
goodness.
that. I know, but the T Barnes signature scent is awesome. And Bath and Body, I like people to really be clear. Like, I'm a serious skincare line. I care about treating the skin and making sure that the skin is balanced, and that's what my skincare line does. So Bath and Body is more for fun, and so it's something that I release in the spring, and I sell it through the end of the summer, early fall, and then it's seasonal,
right?
And Bath and Body is a kind of saturated market, but I think I have a really good product and something really yummy, and people love the T Barnes scent and the candle. I just had a really great treat by she's a wonderful blogger. I can't remember her name, but she got my candle and she just tweeted about it, so that was really exciting. So yeah, just that new product to the Bath and Body, and just more travel. We have trips coming up. I'm taking a group to Morocco next month. I'm doing a healing retreat in Bali. For anyone really who really needs to do that kind of work in October. And then I have my big Southeast Asia trip in January. So products and facials and body treatments and
I know.
Yeah.
What happened to sitting on your hands? That's not happening.
Supposed to be, but
that's not happening. So okay. So you have all these things going on. So do you have any specials? Do you have any special offers?
Dr. Tammy. So for your audience, I put together a special. If you add me on, it's not add me. You see, I'm like, it's follow me, right, on IG.
That's right.
Yeah, I know. I feel like an old lady sometimes. But yeah, so if you follow me on IG and you inbox or direct message is on. See, I gotta get this right. Okay, let me start over. On IG, I'm at T Barnes Beauty, and if you follow me and then direct mail me, direct mail, DM?
The message,
direct message.
If you hit her in the DM, just hit her in the DM. So if you hit her in the DM, then you're gonna put what?
Okay, so then you're going to send me a DM that just says Dr. Tammy. So I see that you followed me. I see the Dr. Tammy, and then you get 50% off the blueberry pill, which is one of my most expensive products. It is absolutely amazing, and it's perfect for this time of year because we're transitioning out of spring into summer. Well, depending on where you are, we still
spring. Yeah, where you are in the world.
Where you are in the world. But it's an amazing product for exfoliation, deep exfoliation. It actually really is a peel, which means that it penetrates past your epidermis into your dermis, and it turns the skin over. So if you're feeling, like your skin is just going through a lull, or you have dead skin, or you're just feeling a little extra dry, blueberry peel brings you back to life. Amazing. So 50% off of that for everybody. It's $36. It'll be 50% off of that. And I just want to see Dr. Tammy in all my things.
Yes, awesome. So, and I will put all of that in the show notes. So make sure you check out the show notes for all of her links and for how you can get the 50% off offer, because that is amazing. And the product is amazing, just so you know. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much for being here. How can we connect with you? How can we find you besides IG? Is the only place that you reside?
No. So my two websites, www.tbarnesbeauty.com is my main site for the products. You can also find me at www.tbarnesglobaltravel.com, and that has the travel and the fashion. Okay. You can find me at T Barnes Beauty on any of my social media. It's IG, Facebook, Twitter, all on @tbarnesbeauty.
All right, and I'll make sure we put all that in the notes so you'll have it, so you can make sure that you get it right and follow her. But IG is where it's at, where the 50% is at. So that's where it's at, as we used to say back in the day. All incorrectly, but that's where it's at. It's in IG. So thank you so much for doing this for me. Thank you so much for taking time to chat with me and share a little bit, just a little bit. Like y'all saw how she was about to go deep on that blueberry peel and talk about epidermis and stuff, so I had to stop her. So we didn't even get into that stuff. We just really scratched the surface. This is just really an introduction. So we will definitely have her back one time, and we'll actually really narrow down maybe one thing we can talk about really in depth and really have an in-depth conversation. But for today, T. Barnes, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your time. I love you, girl. You rock, and keep building that empire that I call it, an empire that you're building. And definitely check her out, follow her, and you'll see that she's amazing. She's amazing. So thank you all for joining me. This has been another episode of Journey Toward More, where I have just spent an amazing hour with T. Barnes of T. Barnes Beauty. And listen, if you're not following her, follow her. And thank you so much. So we're going to sign off there. I appreciate you being here. Definitely check out some of our previous episodes and some of the ones to come. Have some amazing guests lined up, so definitely stay tuned. And make sure you share it out. Share. Don't forget to share this out. Share the link. Whatever platform you find this, make sure you share it out. I appreciate you. And you can definitely catch the episodes on my YouTube channel as well, which is also in the show notes. So thank you so much. I am Dr. Tammy, your success catalyst and literacy educator. I help you move in the direction toward more and prepare for what's next. And we will see you on the next episode of Journey Toward More. Goodbye.
Stuck in life, you should aspire for more. Connect with others who desire to aspire for more. Reach for your goals. When you do, you allow yourself to aspire for more. Dr. Tammy is here to help you aspire for more. When you believe in yourself, anything is possible. Believe in yourself, you'll get more. You should aspire for more. Aspire for more. You should aspire for more. Aspire for more. When you believe in yourself, anything is possible. Believe in yourself and get more. You should aspire for more.